From the cab of his tractor, Eric Severy is master of all he surveys. And once the GPS coordinates are set, he doesn't even have to hold the wheel.
We use this screen here.
Severy is a custom operator. His business, Matthews Trucking, contracts with farmers to spread manure based on the farmer's nutrient management plan. Each plan details the amount of nutrients to be applied. Plans are required by state and federal law.
Yes.
For the last several years, Severy and UVM Extension agronomy specialist Kirsten Workman have been using the Barnes Farm in Bridport to trial, test, and troubleshoot manure injection technology. Instead of being sprayed on top, manure is injected under the surface where it's needed. Doing so limits erosion and runoff getting into waterways. The latest tool Workman and Severy are assessing is this yellow box that looks like it could contain a new pair of barn boots.
Manure sense constituent is the technical term for it. It's an infrared sensor that tells us what nutrients are in the manure as we're pumping. It samples it 4,000 times a second. So per 1,000 gallons that is flowing through that pipe, how many pounds of phosphorus are in that manure, how much nitrogen, dry matter, and potassium is in that manure, and then through the flow meter and the speed of the tractor, it is telling us what we're applying at a certain point.
Not all manure is created equal. Because nutrient management plans are written with the previous year's data, there's no way to account for seasonal changes, like the weather. That's where the manure sensing technology comes in.
Manure values greatly vary, more than a nutrient management plan accounts for. So I believe there are times we are over applying, and also times we are under applying the amount of nutrients. The amount of gallons we're applying coordinates with the nutrient management plan, but the actual nutrients are not. We're trying to test to see how much the manure really changes and whether we can vary our rates to grow a better crop for the farmer.
A guesstimate, which will be...
UVM Extension holds workshops to help farmers write nutrient management plans. No plan is flawless, but Workman and her colleagues come as close to perfect as possible.
So right now the way it works is a farm has a nutrient management plan. And that is a giant math problem that we do the best job that we can. So this farm has a nutrient management planner. They're sampling manure every time they spread, essentially. And that one jar of manure is hopefully capturing the nutrient content of millions of gallons, right? So we're already starting to average. Now we take years and years of those manure samples and kind of come up with a farm average. So we get a little more accurate, right? Because from year to year there's variation.
The sensing technology takes the guesswork out of the amount of nutrient content being applied and provides more accurate data for next year.
If we're really using actual nutrient content in the moment, then we start applying in pounds of phosphate per acre instead of gallons per acre. And the difference that can make can be really big and it can be really small. We don't know yet. And that's what we're going to look at here is we're going to take the information from Eric's manure sensor and the farm's nutrient management plan, and we're going to reconcile those two. As we feed more and more precise information into that plan, the more precise it gets every year moving forward.
A big part of it for me is the record keeping. Now I have a digital record of exactly what went on this field. I can print a map off, give it to the state, give it to the farmer. I feel we're on the cutting edge of that stuff. We were one of the first people really fully integrating GPS in the state. It's really just kind of cool.
The manure injector and the manure sensor were paid for by grants from the Vermont Agency of Agriculture, Food and Markets. As wondrous as this technology is, it's also a justification of the investment and the work being done by UVM Extension and farmers to protect the environment.
Practices and technologies like this that have a benefit to the farm and a benefit to the environment, it's a no-brainer for everybody. And the state really has to justify how it's spending its money too, which makes sense. And so when we can quantify those impacts, then that helps the state make the case to the EPA, our farmers are doing X, Y, and Z. It really has enabled them to pay for practices and technologies, but also then justify those back to the folks that are paying really close attention. Farmers are hitting it out of the park, and it's a huge teamwork kind of effort.
On the ground, or a couple inches below, it's good to have a sense Vermont farmers are doing their part to preserve natural resources. In Bridport, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.